A very good morning, class 11th. Today we are going to finish our the last or glands, that is the glucagon, testes, as well as ovary. Right. So yesterday we finished and we talked about insulin in detail. The glucagon's function, we know that they are secreted by alpha cells of islet of Langerhans. The purpose is to they increase blood sugar level. That is why therefore they are known as hyperglycemic hormone, because till now you know very confidently that who is hypoglycemic hormone. It is our insulin, and because it increases blood sugar level, therefore it is known as hyperglycemic hormone. And glucose, the word, it is also the word associated with glucose is diabetes, so it is known as diabetogenic hormone also. So there are different name depending on its function, that is the hyperglycemic and diabetogenic hormone. Its main target tissues, they are two, that is liver and the adipose tissue. They are its main two target tissues for the glucagon. If we talk about functions, as we said that it increases the blood sugar, right? So it promotes the breakdown of glycogen into glucose. Means glycogen टूटेगा तो glucose release होगा, so it promote that process. It promote glycogenolysis, as well as it is an hormone which promotes the formation of glucose, not only the from the carbohydrates, even the substances like amino acid, lactic acid, they also break down and give rise to the formation of glucose. And this process, when other than the carbohydrate, when other substances like amino acid, lactic acid, they are involved in the formation of glucose, the process is known as gluconeogenesis. So glucagon promotes gluconeogenesis as well as glycogenolysis, and we know that it increases blood sugar level. So these are the main functions of the insulin and the glucagon that we need to understand about the that how they are regulating or controlling the sugar in our body. Testis, the second last or gland, that is our testis. It is a definitely it is a paired structure, and it is a main structure of the male reproductive system. The endocrine cells of testes, they are known as interstitial cells or leading cells. जो endocrine part है testis का, they have a specialized cells. This is known, they are known as interstitial or leading cells, and they are stimulated when they get stimulated by the hormone ICSH. ICSH is interstitial cell stimulating hormone, and this is released by anterior lobe of pituitary. Testis जो है, that is a primary organ in the male reproductive system. It is a paired structure, and its endocrine part has leading cells which got stimulated, which got activated by hormone ICSH. तो कौन रिलीज कर रहा है ये ICSH? By anterior lobe of pituitary. So this stimulating hormone, it is released by anterior lobe of pituitary. लीडिंग सेल्स जब ये स्टिमुलेट हो जाते हैं, कौन स्टिमुलेट कर रहा है इनको? सो ICSH को एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी ने सिक्रीट किया. दे विल गो टू लीडिंग सेल्स. Now leading cells, they will start secreting androgens. What are androgens? They are male sex hormones. They are testosterone, androsterone, epiandrosterone, and dehydroepiandrosterone. And most commonly we always talk about the testosterone, but otherwise जो male cells हैं, जो leading cells हैं in the male reproductive system, they secrete four main androgens, four main male hormones, but the most important one is testosterone. Others are androsterone, epiandrosterone, and dehydroepiandrosterone. epiandrosterone. We talked about them in the sex corticoids also. Now the function of androgens, or I will say the function of testosterone, but सबसे ज़्यादा amount में यही increase होता है. It is the most important one. The most important function of testosterone is the development of secondary sex organs. See, primary sex organ, I always write primary like this. Primary sex organs in the males, that is the testes, right? Primary sex organ is always testes, but the secondary, which also play a role in the development of the male sex organ, that is the epididymis, prostate gland, external genitalia. In the males is penis as well as seminal vesicle. So, and this testosterone, it help in development of this epididymis, prostate, seminal vesicle, external genitalia also. Then the testosterone play a very important role in development of secondary sexual characteristics like facial hair on the hair on the chest, hair on the face, then deepening of voice, male like voice, broadening of shoulders. When the people they are in adolescent stage, there is the release of testosterone, then the body is also developing that time. Elongation of bones, height, suddenly height increases. So these secondary sexual characteristics, they are helped by the testosterone. It promotes spermatogenesis because we say that reproductive structures, they start developing, right? So spermatogenesis, sperm formation is promoted by testosterone. It play a role in erythropoiesis also, formation of RBC, as well as it act on nervous system, central nervous system, and influence the male sexual behavior. So if I say that testosterone is also responsible for the male sexual behavior, which is known as the libido also. So that hormone which is responsible for this sexual behavior, that is the testosterone. So testosterone is responsible for sex organs as well as for the characteristics, for the sperm formation as well as for the sexual behavior. Now let's talk about the last our part, that is the ovary. Ovaries, they are the primary reproductive organs in females, and they are also present in pairs. They produce three main hormones, but the most two, usually they produce three hormones, that is the estrogen, progesterone, and relaxin. But the major two are, which we always talk about, that is the estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, it is a steroid hormone in the females. It is a steroid hormone, and the major category of this estrogen is beta estradiol and esterone. It is present in the form of beta estradiol and esterone. So don't get confused कि ये beta estradiol और esterone क्या है. These are the estrogen only. The function, just as the function performed by testosterone in the males, the same function is performed by estrogen in the females. It helps in development of secondary female sex organs. The primary, it is ovary. It helps in development of secondary sexual characteristics like oogenesis. Oogenesis is formation of ovum. That also starts. Menstruational cycle starts. Enlargement of breast, development of female like voice as well as the female like hair pattern. It is also developed because of the release of estrogen. Now the most important point, estrogen decreases FSH, follicular stimulating hormone. So estrogen जब release होता है, so it decreases FSH from the pituitary and increase LH. अब FSH क्या कर रहा है? Follicles formation में help कर रहा है, and LH क्या करता है? Ovulation में help करता है. More is the LH means that result in the formation of ovum, release of ovum from the ovary, right? So LH increase means that is the ovulation. So it support LH, it support the process of ovulation and decrease the formation of follicles. So progesterone is secreted by corpus luteum, and corpus luteum is what now? See, I told you that follicles जब बनना शुरू होती है FSH की वजह से follicles start हो जाती है बनना, primary follicle, then secondary follicle, and in follicle these follicles they surrounds the ovum, or we call it as the secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte, this is our ovum, right, which is developing inside this mature Graafian follicle. This is the mature Graafian follicle. Now when this follicle get ruptured, अब ये rupture हो गई, टूट जाती है, so ovum is released out from the ovary, and this ruptured follicle changes into a structure which is known as corpus लूटियम. ये रप्चर हो गई, एग निकल गया इसके अंदर से, एक्चुअली इसको हम सेकेंडरी oocyte बोलते हैं. सो दिस गेट रिलीज्ड एंड दिस रप्चर्ड स्ट्रक्चर नाउ चेंजेस इनटू corpus luteum. So corpus luteum start secreting प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन. जैसे ही एग रिलीज हुआ, ग्राफियन फॉलिकल चेंज हो जाती है इनटू कॉर्पस लूटियम, एंड कॉर्पस लूटियम स्टार्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन. सो दैट इज व्हाई प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन इज सिक्रेटेड बाय कॉर्पस लूटियम. फ्रॉम द रप्चर्ड ग्राफियन follicle this corpus luteum is formed. What is the function of progesterone? Now egg is there in the fallopian tube, right? सो अब फर्टिलाइज होगा नहीं होगा वो किसी को नहीं पता. सो प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन रिलीज होना शुरू हो गया, कॉर्पस लूटियम के ने प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन रिलीज करना शुरू कर दिया. सो दिस प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन इट विल हेल्प इन थिकनिंग ऑफ द यूट्रस वॉल. It will start thickening. The more progesterone means these walls of the uterus will become more and more thicker. Then it will help the growing embryo to attach to the wall, which is known as implantation. So progesterone, it helps in thickening of endometrium as well as in the implantation. It means it is supporting pregnancy. So that is why progesterone is also known as pregnancy hormone. When a female is, when implantation is done or female is carrying a child, then a baby, basically the pregnant woman, it has more and more progesterone, right? So this progesterone is released by corpus luteum. Okay, clear? This corpus luteum secrete progesterone. Then it also helps in placenta formation. Now it decrease the secretion of LH, क्योंकि LH का काम खत्म हो गया ना. अभी ओवम बन गया, ओवम बनना था, ओवम रिलीज हो गया. जब LH सबसे ज़्यादा होता है तो ओवम रिलीज हो जाता है. अब ओवम इज़ ऑलरेडी रिलीज, सो इट डिक्रीज. जैसे ही प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन एक बार रिलीज होना शुरू हो गया, इट डिक्रीज द सिक्रीशन ऑफ LH. देन इट प्रमोट द प्रोलिफरेशन होता है डिवीजन, बहुत ज़्यादा डिवाइड करना, डिवीजन ऑफ मेमरी ग्लैंड, which results in enlargement of breast. Because you know that after pregnancy, then after the delivery, a mother has to feed her baby also. So mammary glands start developing, or mammary glands division starts more and more because of the progesterone. So these are all the main points about the our glands, that is the glucagon hormones as well as testes.